Blessings, 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 my sports to the bone people. Back at it again with another video. Thank you all for tuning in. So, the second ODI between West Indies and Ireland. No result, no result, no result, no result. Pure rain, my people. Rain, 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 non-stop. But prior to the rain coming down, we got an opportunity to see the West Indies men out in the middle with the bat. You know, it was an improved performance if you compare to what we saw in the first ODI. Casey Carty getting a century, Matthew Ford blazing a half century. Gonna walk you through the scorecard. We're also gonna be taking a look at that test match that's going on between England and Zimbabwe. Some very interesting things happening in that game. So just give a listen here until the end and you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Now, let me say, it was really good to see some improve. It was good to see improved performance from the batters, right? The guys went out there and, I mean, Sammy said in the first game they batted like they were very timid. So, you know, they went out there and they played some shots. You understand? Luckily, I was able to see a good amount of it this time around. The first game, I didn't get a chance to see much, right? Brandon King and Evan Lewis, they opened. Evan Lewis, he was looking good before he got out. You understand? He scored 20 and he had 4 fours in that 20, right? Brandon King scored 8 with 2 fours before he got out, you know, nicking off. We see him getting out this way a lot, right? So those two, they stayed for a little while, right? But the partnership was only 20. You know, luckily for us, that partnership didn't really dictate what would happen in the game. You know, we ended up putting on 352 for 8, right? We saw Casey Carty and Shea Hope putting together a nice partnership, very good partnership. You know, Casey Carty getting a century, 102 off 109 balls, 13 fours and 1 6, strike rate of 93.58. Now, when I was watching him in the early stages of his innings, you know, I was saying that it would be nice if he would rotate strike a bit more. You know, it didn't look uncomfortable or anything. It's just that I was saying, you know, it would be nice to rotate the strike some more. You understand? Shea Hope was looking comfortable also until he played a shot, no foot movement, trying to run a ball down to, don't know if he was trying to run it down to third man to get a single to go to 50 because he was on 49 at the time and, you know, he was only successful in playing the ball to the wicket keeper. Casey Carty, as I said, he stayed for a long time, 102. You know, after he brought up his half century, he started going at the bowling. Yes, he went at the bowling after he brought up his half century, and in no time he was able to get up to a century. And we can live with 102 off 109, right? That's not bad in ODI cricket. It's not T20. That's not bad at all. Shea Hope, as I said, that 49 there, he had 5 fours and 1 6 in that. Amir Jangu, you know, he was there for a period, 13 from 20 before he was removed. You know, luckily for us, Casey Carty was there to stabilize things. Justin Greaves, once again coming in. You know, he too at the beginning of his innings, I was wondering how is he going to run at a ball, run a ball. You know, because I know that he's a man that he likes to feel the ball and the bat. You understand? But at the time when he was batting, I was in and out of his space. So I couldn't really judge exactly what was going on. But he remained not out. You know, in the latter stages, he was able to get some boundaries. He targeted an over and got a couple of boundaries out of it, right? So he ended not out on 44 from 36, 4 fours and 1 6. Raston Chase made 24 from 25 with 2 fours. Matthew Ford, my people, playing a blinder, right? The joint fastest half century in ODI cricket. I think he's tied with AB de Villiers, right? He scored 58 from 19, 8 sixes and 2 fours. Goody Kishmoti also did pretty well. You understand? You know, I think it was the last over there. I think it was the last over. You know, he got a couple of boundaries, you know, to make sure that we got we got over the 350 mark. Not even he actually got a couple of sixes. He played 2 sixes in that last, I think it was the last over, right? And helped us out a lot. So 352 for 8 is where we finished off in our 50 overs. McCarthy, he picked up 2 for 68 for them. Joshua Little 2 for 89 from 10. And we saw Liam McCarthy getting 3 for 66 from 9. Dockrell 1 for 36 from his 7. In terms of who we lost the wickets, 20 for 1, 46 for 2, 127 for 3, 187 for 4, 213 for 5, 246 for 6, 352 for 8, right? And then we Goody Kishmoti got dismissed, you know, in the, I think it was the last ball there that day. Goody Kishmoti, they used to remove Moti. So, you know, shout out to the batsmen. You know, much better than what we saw in the first game. So, you know, that's definitely good. Ireland, they didn't get a chance to chase, right? The rain. Now, this simply means that for the West Indies, they will have an opportunity to draw the series. That's the only thing, right? They can win the final game and try to draw the series. Or if we lose, we lose the series 2-0. Right? We didn't get a chance to defend this total today. So that is basically how it went from my perspective, right? In terms of the opinions that I put in. All right, so I spoke to you yesterday about the amount of runs that England piled on day one in their game against Zimbabwe. England ended up scoring 565 for 6, right? 565 for 6. You know, a couple of Centurions there. Zach Crawley with that 124, Ben Duckett 140, Ollie Pope 171. We also saw Harry Brook getting 58. Now, bowling for Zimbabwe, Blessing Mozambani, he picked up 3 for 143. He was the pick of the bowlers. He actually got 3 good wickets, you know, my people. You know, he got Joe Root out, he got Harry Brook out, and Ben Stokes, you know, some good wickets there to get. Zimbabwe chasing that 565. They started off pretty well, but faded in the back end. They were bowled out for 265, which is not bad. Brian Bennett, he scored a magnificent century, 139 off 143 with 26 fours, right? He was supported by the captain, Craig Irvin, who got 42. Now, bowling for England, let's take a look at their bowling here real quick, if I can pull it up. Bowling for England, the wickets, they were shared. Bashir, he picked up 3 for 62 from his 16 overs. Gus Atkinson, 2 for 58. Ben Stokes, 2 for 11. And Sam Cook picked up 1 for 72. So as of now, Zimbabwe, they are trailing by 270 because they were asked to bat a second time. And they finished the day on 30 for 2. That's day 2, right? 30 for 2. The Centurion Bennett is already back in the dugout. Ben Curran is there on 4. Irvin, the captain, has been removed on 2. Sean Williams, the season campaigner, the veteran, is there on 22. So that is basically how it's looking for Zimbabwe in their game against England. Wishing them all the best, my people. But yeah, that is pretty much it for this one, my peeps. Gonna leave it right here. So big up, stay safe.